we are excited to share with you this presentation, AI-powered family engagement, modern tools for Head Start success. My name is Mary Grace Romo, and I'm a retired Head Start director. And I spent many, many years on this mission, and I'm grateful to still be able to support Head Start programs. Our agenda today is going to cover several things. We're going to talk a little bit about this new technology, AI, that many Head Start programs have not implemented yet into their services. We're going to try to understand what it is, what it means, maybe demystify some of the things you've heard. We're going to talk about our challenging times and how the power of AI can be used to improve our service model and increase the amount of time that we can spend with children and families. We will talk about some of the risks and how we can ensure that we are keeping family and children safe, families and children and employees safe. And we are going to also look at some learning Genie solutions. So let's keep going here. Let's first understand the role of artificial intelligence in our world today. It's termed as the new disruptor. Now, that's not the same as the word disruptor with an ER that's talking about chaos and disruption and negative things. A disruptor with an OR at the end can be positive or negative. It is something that shifts our culture and our human experience. And so people are now saying that AI is one of the greatest disruptors that has come along since the internet. It is altering the way our doctors work, our air traffic controllers, our educators, our shopping experiences, our driving. It's altering and transforming almost everything that we experience in our daily lives. Think about some of the disruptors from the past. The invention of the steam engine, right? Cars, when planes were invented. All of these things shifted society and shifted culture. And there were fears with all of those changes when the telephone came along. How is it going to impact us positively and negatively? And the same thing is happening now with artificial intelligence. But we are using artificial intelligence in, as I said, almost everything that we're doing. It's being used now as a virtual assistant. It is driving self-driving cars, right? Healthcare, surgeons are using artificial intelligence now to identify uh, tumors that were maybe previously very difficult to be identified by the naked eye. There are robotic surgical robots that are used by surgeons to do very precise surgery. And in fact, one of my friends works for one of these companies, and she has to be in the operating room the whole time to be in charge of the machine, the robot, while the surgeon is performing his surgery. We use AI with Alexa and Siri on our phones. We use it in our banking and finance, the chatbots that are on the websites and the way they analyze our data. Obviously, in gaming and entertainment, we mentioned robotics a little bit. Did you know that there is now a humanoid robot that has been invented by Elon Musk that they're predicting will be in people's homes very shortly. And this robot can feed your dog. It can make a cup of tea for you. It can vacuum, it can clean, it can help with your elderly parent. It's exciting and scary at the same time, isn't it? But it's the change, it's the world, the new disruptor that's happening. In China, they're saying they have such a elderly population, they plan to have a humanoid robot in everyone's home to help take care of the elderly generation. It can provide language translation where before we maybe got a rough translation with Google Translate, now it's almost so precise that it can replace a human translator, which is very scary, right? It's being used in education. It is being used to personalize education for children. It is being used in education to analyze data, to improve the way that we instruct children individually, to improve the accommodations we make for them. It's being used in retail when you shop on Amazon and we think they can hear what we're saying. No, it's AI tracking our purchases and identifying if we like this, we also might like this. So AI, it's here, and many of us have reservations about it. Many of us are excited about it. But I wanted to share with you that the Administration for Children and Families is already creating a path to AI. They have been for several years. And they say, this is a quote, at ACF, we see the possibility for artificial intelligence to help us be smarter, faster, and more sophisticated in our work. AI is our pathway to do more with less so we can help more children and families. They have a statement on their website about how they believe AI can support governmental services. I wanted to make sure you knew, as Head Start folks, that it is okay for us to begin this journey with AI. It is being supported by the Administration for Children and Families. There's even a statement on grants.gov that we can use it to help write our grants. We can use it to bring better services to children and families. And they are recognizing that there are some risks. So you can see that they are stating at the bottom paragraph that they are working with other agencies to provide guidance for us on how we can responsibly leverage AI in applications that have potential to improve our Head Start programs while keeping our clientele safe. And if you go to the Administration for Children and Families, you can find their webpage on AI, and they even have toolkits that they're working on. Some of their links, they haven't even yet put the content yet because they are working so fast to move us forward, especially now with the new executive order about the United States becoming more literate with AI and leading the way with AI. So why should we embrace AI as Head Start folks, though? At the end of the day, it's about our children and families. So we know that we can use AI to improve the way we work smarter, not harder, create more found time so we can have more face-to-face interaction with our children, families, and our employees. We can improve equity and outcomes for families. AI is logical, it's not emotionally influenced, and it can help us take the emotion out and focus on the problems, right? And the supports. It's part of lifelong learning and development. There were people when the internet came out that said, I don't want anything to do with the internet. But we can't live in this world anymore without knowing how to use the internet. Like it's just part of what we have to do. When you enroll a child in public school, you have to create an account. You have to create a parent portal. It's just, it's part of our life, right? Well, that is what AI is becoming as well. So as Head Start folks, we need to lead the way. We need to make sure our employees are educated and that they are AI literate. We need to make sure our parents are AI literate, that we are providing family education around the topic of AI to keep them safe and to empower them. We know we can use AI to improve our data-driven decision making, and you know that is something we must do in Head Start, and it's here to stay. And just a fun fact, this past year in 2024, the federal government identified April 19th as our first National AI Literacy Day. And so I'm sure that that will be something we look towards this April. They'll probably have some toolkits and some initiatives to help us move forward. But let's talk about what this is, right? So I'm not going to read the slides to you. You're going to get these slides. Okay, you're going to get this whole presentation and you can dive in with it once you get it. But what I think you really need to walk away with is that it's a tool that can create new content for you. It can create music, it can create images, it can create books, it can create translations, procedures. Think Head Start, procedures, partnership agreements, contracts, grants, emails. AI can learn human language and it can learn as the more you use it to improve the content that it creates for you. It can create any complex, learn about any complex subject matter, and it can summarize it for you. Imagine parents having to understand the requirements for eligibility. AI can take all of that and summarize it in a parent-friendly way. It's basically a mathematical designed human intelligence, and I'm not a math person, but you don't have to understand how a car engine works to drive a car. So you don't have to understand at a micro level how AI works to use AI, but it is good for you to know a few things. Like number one, it can perform tasks without a lot of human oversight. It can automate tasks for you and it can continue to learn from the experience. It can use human-like perception, cognition, planning, communication, or physical action to do tasks. It can think or act like a human. It can act rationally and it can achieve goals using human-like intelligence. When we use it, there's three ways we can interact with it. We can prompt it. The more descriptive we are, the better the prompt will be. We can tell it who we are and who our audience is going to be and what we want the product to look like. We can chat back and forth just like it's a human, like it's a colleague, and say, no, I don't like that procedure. I need you to edit the second paragraph. So we can go back and forth with it. And then we can learn and dig a little deeper and say, explain this to me as if I'm a fourth grader. I don't understand. Or it can also learn from what we're asking it to do, and it can improve its performance with us over time. And so when we craft a prompt, and you'll get this slide show, you just want to make sure that you are framing the task and the context, giving it precise instructions. And if you have examples of what you want your product to look like, Upload those examples. It's just like working with an assistant. If I'm telling an assistant to create something for me, I'm going to be very detailed in instructing my assistant and explaining how I want my product to look. So let's talk a little bit about these challenging times. You see the QR code there. I'd like you to scan that QR code if you have your mobile device with you. And I'm going to jump out of the presentation and go to a different screen while let me get that QR code up for you again. When you go to this QR code, I'll be able to see in Mentimeter some of your thoughts. So I'll leave that there for a minute. If you can scan that and put in a response, we're going to see what some of the responses are to your greatest challenges. Let's refresh. Okay, thank you. So we've got communication, yes, and especially with our diverse families. Staffing retention, huge. Collecting documents, low pay, transportation, illness. Oh, yes, behaviors of children. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see it better now. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Recruiting, unaffordable housing, partnerships. Very good. I'm sure there are so many more, and I can see you guys are adding. That's wonderful. We're going to go ahead and jump out because of our short time together, but we're going to move on to how to maybe address some of these current challenges that you've mentioned. So let's talk about the opportunities for children and families. Oops, sorry. There we go. So there are so many opportunities for children and families. We can improve the way we work and tailor our supports to our families. There's so many opportunities for staff, making your life easier and polishing and improving your outputs. And the same for administrators. It can simplify what we do and give us found time. So we are down to our last 7 minutes, but we are going to jump in to some of these tools so that I can show you the power of AI. So let's write an attendance letter for a family from Egypt. Okay, so let's go to ChatGPT and I'm going to give it my task. I'm a Head Start family services worker. I need to write a letter to a family from Egypt about poor attendance. Help me write a sensitive letter to help them understand why attendance is important. And as you can see, right away, it's helping me create this letter. Now, I can edit this letter if I don't like it, but it's definitely getting me started. And it's helping to explain attendance in the US. I can ask it to download the letter for me. It's right over here. And, or I can edit and then download it. I'm going to ask it to translate it into Arabic. Translate into Arabic and use the proper format. And if you have typos here, it will understand what you're saying. And now it is working. It's editing. I can see here. And while it's doing that, what I'd like to say to you is that you can get a free ChatGPT account and get started today with ChatGPT. It's working hard. If it doesn't do it soon, we'll move on. But just know that it is going to translate the letter into Arabic, and it's going to write from right to left instead of left to right. And so now, if I don't have a translator, I've got something that I can send to the parent. Or if I speak Arabic, my work is done for me because translating takes a lot of time. And I can just scan it and review it and make sure that there's nothing I want to change. So we're going to stop because it's taking a long time, but we're going to go on and talk about some of the other things it can do for us. It can create a newsletter for you with a blurb that you want it to include. It can put emojis in. It can create visuals for you. It can write procedures for you. It can turn it into a beautiful PowerPoint. Gamma.app is an AI tool that can make a beautiful PowerPoint for you. It can analyze data for you from a PIR report. In fact, let's go back. Oh, here's our Arabic letter. So you can see it's working. Now it looks like to me that it might have gone left to right. I would just need to ask it and double check that it went right to left. So you want to talk to it like it's an assistant and make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. But let me show you what happens when I upload a PIR report. Now, this is a PIR report from an agency. Analyze this family for family engagement. Keep the agency anonymous. Summarize possible action steps. I'm going to add here data. All right, let's see what happens. So it's actually reviewed the PIR report, and it is now summarizing the data for us. So we can see some things like only 7% of the children experienced homelessness during the year. That's amazing if that's true. Or it might be telling us that we didn't identify them well, right? We can look at our parent involvement. So we have really strong parent involvement. It's even recommending some action steps for us. And I can tell it, although we don't have time, I can ask it to make a graph for me and put it in a beautiful, colorful bar graph. So quickly, we want to acknowledge that there are risks. We need to be cautious. We need to make sure data is safe. We need to make sure that we are not sharing health data by name, child data by name, employee data by name. We need to keep everything anonymous. We need to make sure we're not becoming dependent on AI. We need to make sure that we're still the critical thinkers in the room, that AI is just our assistant, but we are making the final decisions. We need to make sure our employees are trained well. Learning Genie can offer a lot of solutions for family engagement. I'm just going to show you a few. We're not going to watch this whole video. It's a 2-minute video. But I'm just going to show you some of our solutions. We have solutions for family engagement where you can send out learning videos. This is our parent app. You can translate it into any language you want. It's two-way live communication with our families, but communication that you can monitor. So you can see what staff are sending out. You don't have to use your personal device to communicate with families. We need to use our tablets and use our laptops and separate our home life from our work life. Learning Genie, you can send out videos, you can send out events, you can get RSVPs. As I said, automatic translation at your fingertips. Learning Genie will also provide dashboards and analyze your data. It will provide summaries. You can create your own media channels. You can send out behavior supports for individual children or to the whole class. Our dashboards are spectacular and make your life so much easier. So we want to give you a call to action. The new standard says you have to modernize family engagement. We all do, right? And I imagine as we move forward, they will be addressing AI. So we want to support you in that journey. If you're interested in taking a deeper dive and learning more about AI, and earning some credits, then we'd like you to scan this and let us know you're interested because we're considering offering a series for you to break it down and make it accessible for your work in Head Start. So we'd like you, if you're interested in maybe some coursework with us, to scan this and let us know. The other thing is if you're just interested in getting a demo and seeing how our tools work, we'd love you to let us know that. And we'd love to provide you a short demo just to see if Learning Genie is the right fit for your program.